I'm very happy to be here. I really like what I'm reading about the network here. I think after the first part, a bit theoretical networking, I'll be getting into rooms and dirty details, I hope. I always like to begin when talking about Free Riga and how Free Riga is and why it is in Riga, to give this context of, at least when I was getting into this whole concepts of squatting and communities and grassroots initiatives. At the same time, there was sort of parallel reality in media and everywhere about these strange super palaces. This is on our river island, still empty, nothing built, but I'm sure that there was, I don't know how much money invested, how much attention put into this, while we have really enormous amount of central, really nice historic properties, these brick buildings. I mean, Riga was a real industrial hub through Russian Empire, through first independence, and I felt always ashamed and silly about these very nice buildings empty. I'll quickly go through some projects, and then I'll get into one initiative which sort of from the beginning to end, so you can see some of these neighborhood-related initiatives and specific projects we do in our places. This is Zone the Garden, was first of my projects, a hangar with a garden. We also did some mapping. We did a neighborhood project there. Sadly, Estonian developer bought the place and destroyed it. Still waiting for it to be developed. But I heard from Riga City Architect that something's going on. Another space, La Stadia, which is also a current project, very central location. Here, somewhere here would be the central station. These are historic wooden houses, which wouldn't be really used any other proper way. And we very successfully negotiated first for this building, then part of this. And then in the end, we got also T15 and T13. It's easier to remember all the houses by these names. And it's basically, this is very neighborhood-oriented project. At the first year, or first and second year, we did also with Latvian University anthropology students a big survey of the area. And it's very funny for me to come back and see how it really has changed. Maybe some other time I can get into details with this. Then it's a more, I would say, on the discourse of creative cities. It's not too good detail. This is Tallinn Quarter, our newest, hippest place in Riga. If you are a young person in Riga, you will be ashamed by your friends if you don't come here and drink a beer, really. I have these vlogs in the YouTube I follow, and it literally got from the famous vlogger that this is the coolest place you can go. All the other places were not as cool as this. Then there is my newest project with Agni in the back there, which we work with. This is a half a year project. We got into a building in the Old Town, southern part of the Old Town. Very, very exclusive location. And this is sort of a very strange appendix of Old Town where city actually originates from, but it's totally abandoned. Like 1 in 3 buildings is empty. We already negotiated another building for the next summer. Yeah, and it's very strangely developed. There's basically only new projects being built, like a wall around town with hotels. I don't know why. Who does allow this? Sorry, Gunther. Then this is sort of visualization of the building. What characterizes our work a lot is that we try to give people opportunity to experiment and do different cultural, social ideas in the building. So we have 5 floors, for example, here, and we would put, a bit different ideas in each floor. There would be some public, some seminar-ish. We have a small museum, a residency, and different kinds of workshops and studios. Yeah, so we're a bit saving ourselves also that, if one guy won't come to his workshop and quit it, we have 10 other guys. It's a bit startup scheme, I think. All right. I will go through a project D27, which was my last big building, also in a very fancy location in the quiet center. This is how it looked, I think, in the first event we did in the building with youth, European something. We painted the chairs and started to build up the infrastructure. It was abandoned. All the buildings we do are abandoned, and our trick is that we negotiate with the owner. It's always private owners. Everything was very successfully privatized in Riga, especially central good properties. That we did successfully, but they are still, a lot of them are empty, and we make a temporary deal with the owner that we, for example, make a contract for a year, 2, 3 years. And the owner would get a tax reduction for the land tax and the building tax, which in the central properties can get really high. Here the owner saved some 15,000 euros with working with us. Actually more, 20,000. We did 1.5 years. And municipality is very open to this. It's sort of indirect subsidy that is done through this NGO status we have. We, of course, did loud parties. We did, this was 1st of September party, which gathered media attention as well as was very nice. This is the yard, one of the aspects of the building. We started, although it's temporary, we sort of had to deal with the garden in some way. You see here, it's sort of, it was just destroyed the building, and they just put earth on the ruins of this building. So there was big mud and a lot of strange problems with ground. So we decided we had some landscape architects suggest you should plant a lot of plants so they would create soil and there would be a place where this water would sit. So that's what we basically did. We ordered, I don't know, some 10 cubic meters of black earth, some rocks, which was our only basic investment. We upcycled some pallets in these nice beds. And we offered a public, 11 spots, which people could apply. They paid in 20 euros basically just to cover the costs of the earth. And they would have this piece of 3 square meters where they could plant some vegetable, flower. Very simple, but it really worked and we were very happy. Some people could have their normal lives because usually they were some bank workers or working in some institution. And this was a very nice way how we could get them into this strange, hippie-esque, contemporary community. Some family with children, and then they could come in and ask, where do we find water? How do we dig the earth? Another aspect which is always present in our buildings is arts, culture, exhibitions. This is one of our exhibition spaces in the building. which was very nicely curated also by two good young curators from the Porcelain Museum. They also enjoyed the free way of dealing with our place. They didn't have any museum director saying what to do or what not. They could invite their friends and freely work with it. And here again, we did few of these normal exhibitions, and then we thought, it's, people don't really come to exhibitions. It's hard to get people to think about art. Really, it's a struggle for all curators, I think. And then what we decided, at least to get the people from the building, because we had some 10 people living and working in the building like all the time. So we did dinner with curators or dinner with artists. Depends on if they were alive or working with the exhibition. So we would make some nice, simple vegan meal, drink some wine, and they would tell about these, for example, Soviet graphics. What do they tell in the pictures? Why they are like this? We would ask them strange questions. Me probably mainly, yeah, and then there would be some sort of tension and meeting with this art. Actually, it's not just some black and white pictures. Here, good. I was mainly instructed to include all the logos here. Yes. I do not fuck up. Sorry. I just copied in the slide from the best logo presentation we had. Yes. Yes. Thank you for attention.